Today we'll be discussing about the agile development. So what is agility? An agile team is a team which is able to respond to the changes that is made to the software. So basically agile team is a team that consists of a few of members who are the ones who design the particular kind of software and also update the software as per the requirements of the user. An agile team recognizes that software is developed by individuals working in teams, and also the skills of these people are used to collaborate to the core of the success of the project. It is this kind of projects that encourages team structures and attitudes that make communication between these people much more beneficial, which thoroughly emphasizes rapid delivery of operational software and tells them about the importance of intermediate work products. Agility, on the other hand, can also be used and also be designed in a way that it allows the project team to adapt tasks and to streamline them, thoroughly making them to conduct planning in a way that understands the fluidity of the task and also the approach towards the agile development in order to eliminate all the most essential work products and to keep them simple and clean. which simply means that the software available to the customer will be rapid as feasible and also at the same time will be environment friendly. So agility and cost of change. The conventional wisdom in software development is that of the cost of change increases non-linearly. So it is relatively easy to accommodate a change when a software team is gathering requirements according to what the user requires. In such scenario, the cost of doing this work are very minimal, but the time required will not adversely affect the outcome of the project. Basing to the modification to the architectural design of the software, the design and the construction of three new components, that is the modifications to another five components basing on its new test designs, cost escalate quickly. So the rising of the cost all happens in a quick manner. So that's the basic reason why the cost required to ensure that the change is made without unintended side effects is non-trivial. So what is an agile process? So the process, which is characterized in a manner that it addresses a number of key assumptions about a major requirements to a software project, can be termed to be a process of agile. First being, it is difficult to predict in advance which software requirements will persist, that is, which software requirements will be used and which will change. It is equally difficult to predict how customer priorities will change as the project proceeds. So basing on the customer's requirements, it is very hard to predict in advance which kind of requirements or which type of properties must be added and which must be upgraded. So pre-advancement of this requirements cannot happen. Second very much important point is both the activities should be performed in tandem so that design models are proven as they are created. It is also very much of difficult of how much design is necessary before the construction of how to use and prove the design. Third, analysis, design, construction and testing cannot be predictable. To accomplish such type of incremental adaptation, an agile team requires daily to daily feedback from the customer. Hence, an incremental development strategy is to be applied. So there are principles in agility and there are 12 agility principles to achieve agility to the fullest. First, the highest priority is to satisfy the customer through early and continuous delivery of valuable software. So this is the most important priority which has to be given, the continuous delivery and also the safe product into the hands of the customer. Welcome the changing requirements even late in development. So they should be having a welcome stage for the change in requirements, and there should not be any time lacking between changing or updating the upcoming requirement. Deliver the working software frequently, if for a couple of weeks or also to a couple of months, with preference to the shorter timescale. Business people and developers must work together to achieve the daily objective. Build projects around the motivated individuals. Give them the environment and support they need and trust them to get the job done. Working software is primary measure of progress, most efficient and effective method of conveying information at regular intervals team reflects. So these are the 12 points when you need to focus on. The politics of agile development. So this slide basically tells about what all politics or debates or what are the criticisms faced by such type of agile development. There are no absolute answers as of now, even when the agile school itself has many proposed process models, but every idea of it has certainly different approach to the agility problem. So the bottom line basically speaks of the gain by considering the best of both school and virtually nothing to be gained by denigrating either approach. Human factors that are responsible. So the factor where human are very much into use are the in building the software, and there are a number of key traits which must be existing among the people of the agile team. So such kind of characterization which can be seen are competence, common focus, collaboration, decision making ability, fussy problem solving ability, mutual trust and respect. So these are the factors which are very important for the team to move ahead and to produce much more available to the customer. So extreme programming. So this is something different from what we have seen in the previous slides. In this slide we see that extreme programming is very much essential apart from what is agile software development. So the five values that are in extreme programming are communication, the simplicity, feedback, courage and respect. So each of these values is used as a driver for specific XP activities. XP is a abbreviation for extreme programming. So communication, simplicity, feedback, courage and respect. These all five play a huge role in the extreme programming. So related to the extreme programming, the XP process, it uses an object-oriented approach. I'm repeating, it uses an object-oriented approach as it prefers development paradigm and encompasses a set of rules and practices that occur within the context of four framework activities, which is planning, design, coding and testing. So all the process which are involved in extreme programming happens within the frame line of object oriented, which focuses on the object, and the four framework activities which happen are planning, designing, coding and testing. So now we go forward. Integration and validation testing of the system is also very essential for XP. And next we have the industrial XP. Industrial XP is an organic evolution of XP. It is imbued with XP's minimalist and customer-centric test-driven spirit, which means that there are six new practices that are designed to help ensure that an XP project works successfully for significant project within a large organization. So the readiness assignment. The readiness assignment put to use the first five key points, which are the appropriate development of the environment exists to support the IXP. The team will be populated by a proper set of stakeholders. The organization has a distinct quality program and supports continuous improvement. The organizational culture will be supporting the new values of the agile team. And last but not the least, the broader project community will be populated appropriately. So there's a community which is also being created for the upliftment of the project community, which uses the classic form of the XP. So these classic XP are made to ensure the success of the agile team. And when the XP is to be applied for a significant project in a large organization, the concept of the team should morph into that of a community. Morphing, the copying is being utilized here. A community may have been a technologist, and customers who are central to the success are the other type of the stakeholders. Project chartering and test-driven management and retrospective are some of the key points, although not required for the exams. The XP debate. So these are some of the critics that are often brought to notice while using XP. Requirements volatility. Because the customer is an active member of the XP team, changes to requirements are often informally requested. So these can change and earlier work may have to be modified to accommodate the current needs. Conflicting customer needs. Many projects have multiple customers, but each has its own set of needs. So in order to assimilate the needs of different customers, a job has to go beyond the scope of authority. Requirements are expressed informally. So basically, to the first point itself, the requirements are expressed informally, so it becomes much more hard to reach to the beyond the scope of authority. Lack of formal design. It de-emphasizes the need of architectural design, and also in many instances suggests that designs of all kinds should be relatively informal. So these are the other agile process models: adaptive software development, Scrum, backlog sprints, Scrum meetings, demos. So the dynamic system development method is an agile software development approach that provides itself in a framework of building, maintaining systems which might tie time constraints through the use of incremental prototyping in a controlled project environment. DSDM, the development dynamic system development method, is also an iterative software process which happens in a loop, and it follows all the 80% rule. The only work which is used for the each increment to facilitate movement is happening of the next increment. DSDM consortium has defined an agile process model which includes feasibility study that runs the basic business and also has constraints associated with the application to be built, and then assess whether the application is viable candidate for the DSDM process. The business study also establishes the functional and the information requirements that will allow the application to provide business value, and also at the same time it also defines the basic application architecture which thoroughly defines the maintainability requirements for the application. The functional model iteration, on the other hand, produces a set of incremental prototypes that not only demonstrates functionality of the customer but also intends during its iterative cycle to gather as much as the requirements from feedback they get from the users. Designing and build iteration and implementations are the last 2 points, which means that the functional model iteration should be ensured, and also the software increment to the operational environment must be feasible. So now we'll go on to the feature driven development. So like other agile approaches, FDD adopts a philosophy that focuses on collaboration among people. Many manages problem and project complexity using feature project decomposition followed by integration of software increments. So basically, in the context of FDD, it is a feature which is available to the user. It is a client-based function that can be implemented in 2 or less than 2 weeks. So the features are small blocks of delivered functionality, and users can describe them more easily. Features can also be organized into hierarchical business related group. Since a feature is a FDD deliverable software increment, the team also develops operational features every 2 weeks. At the same time, the features are small and the designer code are very much of effective. The project planning, scheduling, and also the tracking are driven by the feature hierarchy rather than the arbitrarily adopted software engineering task set. So now we look on to the development in the field of lean software development. So there are few of the principles that are followed by this type of development, which is adding no extra features, assessing the cost and schedule impact of any newly requested functions, removing any errors in the process steps, establishing mechanisms to improve the way team members find information, ensuring the testing has been debugged and all the errors are possibly removed, reducing the time required to request and get a decision that affects the software or the process that is applied to create, and also streamlining the manner in which the information is transmitted to all stakeholders are also involved in such type of process. So now we move on to the agile modeling. So there are many such situations in which the software engineers mostly build large and business critical systems. All the constituencies can better understand what needs to be accomplished. The problem can be partitioned effectively among the people who must solve it. And thirdly, the quality can be assessed as the system is being engineered and built. Agile modeling adopts not only the values that are consistent and the Agile manifesto, but also at the same time it recognizes the team should have the courage and to make decision making when asked to reject a design or a refactor of the same design. So we now move on to the Agile unified process. Agile unified process. In this paragraph, you just need to remember the five important processes, the five important activities, which is modeling, implementation, testing, deployment, configuration, and project management, and environment management. So these are basically iterative and small philosophy for building computer-based systems. So, however, in each of these activities, you'll see that the team iterates or makes a loop out of where to achieve agility and to deliver meaningful software increments to end users as quickly as possible. So that's it. So I'll be posting an assignment soon. Try to complete it and try to make short notes. Thank you.